productivity method has been changing the way people work, organize, and tackle their to-do list for years. It's the Getting Things Done method, or GTD for short. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by tasks and endless lists, or just want a way to keep track of it all, GTD might be exactly what you need. Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and thanks for joining me again for another one, okay? My name is Quita, if you're new here, from At Home with Quita, where I share tips on how you can plan a balanced life. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. So by popular request via our Facebook group, you guys have been asking about this one specific insert and how to use it. And so in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you just that, how to use our GTD method inserts, which is the same thing or better known as the Getting Things Done method. Okay, so I'm going to share with you exactly how you can use those inserts if you're a little overwhelmed by them and you just need a little more insight and how to set everything up, because once you figure it out, it's a complete game changer and you're going to be using them all the time. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. But first things first, it is Freebie Friday. Yay! This is our second Friday in a row where I'm going to be doing Freebie Friday, which means you get a free insert, okay? You get a free insert. You get a free insert, okay? And it's a downloadable file. And today is crazy exciting because it's going to be the Getting Things Done method. Why not give you the insert for free that I'm going to be talking about in today's video? So I love that for you because you'll be able to figure out how to use it and download it immediately. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, I also wanted to share with you guys, because you see it right in front of you, we now have hard covers. So I changed my planner cover out to this hard cover. I'm waiting on some supplies to get in because there will be some bookends put on the end. That's going to be gold. It's going to be super gorgeous. I love this design. It's giving very abstract, okay? And so these covers are very different from our laminate covers in that it's a hard cover. So as you can see, it's not as flexible as the laminate cover, okay? So it just gives you a little more stability, a little more durability, if you will. And again, there'll be the finishing edges off that's really gonna set it off. So I'm working on uploading the listing because you'll order it from the laminate cover listing, but I'm gonna change the name of them. It's not gonna be available for everything that we currently have because we have a ton of covers. So I'll just start chipping away at it, working at it one by one with some of our most popular ones, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So I'm really excited about that. So they snap on very easily, just like any other cover, but they're just stronger. And they're a little bit more smaller than the laminate covers because they don't have that extra lamination part of it. But look at how beautiful that is. You hear that sound? So gorgeous, right? I love it. I love it. So I went ahead and changed mine out, as you can see. And so each design is going to be the same as our lamination. There's something different on the inside and the outside. Both the outer pages are the same, both the inner pages are the same. So I just had to show you that because you saw it right in front of you, so why not, okay? And so as they become available, make sure you join our Facebook group because that's where I typically share the new releases. And we also try to send a blog post, and every now and then I'll come and do a video about some specific products. So make sure to join our Facebook group so you'll know when these are going live, okay? But every new cover that I create is going to be a hardcover option and a laminate cover option, all right? But I thought this was just so pretty. It's giving all the feels, all the vibes. So I definitely wanted to show you, but look at that pattern. So pretty, right? Okay, so there's that. My shameless plug once again, okay? So I'm going to flip over to where I have my Getting Things Done method inserts, and we're gonna just go through it, and hopefully you'll have a better understanding on the value of these inserts and why they're so popular, or why this method is so popular, okay? So I'm gonna do a quick flip through of the inserts just so you can see how they look, okay? There's the method here explained. You have your inbox inserts, you have your next action inserts, you have your waiting on inserts, projects, someday, and notes. Okay, and then I also have some other things in this section as well, but this is where it ends. It ends with the notes section on that back page. All right, so let's go through each thing one by one, and we're going to fill this in. I'm going to fill it in with just some not my personal information, but I just want to show you how to use these inserts. So I'm going to give you an idea of some things that you can write, but this isn't pertaining necessarily to me, although yeah, I need to do the same things that you probably need to do, but I'm just going to do it on a basic level so that you can see how to use them. All right. So we'll go over each page one by one and what you need to be adding to that page. And we'll just kind of go through the method because this actually explains it right here. All right, so first things first, all right, GTD, or the Getting Things Done method, was developed by productivity expert David Allen, and the idea is very simple. Its framework is that it helps you capture every task, project, and idea in one trusted system so that you can focus on doing instead of remembering everything, which is a lot of our problem, right? So this is the intro page here, so you can see that this is the Getting Things Done method. That's the cover of the insert. Again, you will get this whole thing in digital format, and so that way you can go ahead and print it out, cut it to size, and get working. All right. And just so you know, the Getting Things Done method is not just about crossing off tasks. It's about organizing your thoughts and actions to create a stress-free productivity system. Okay. So that sounds good, right? So let's break it down in terms of how it works. So the first step in the process is that you want to capture, okay? And again, that you can see all of the steps here on the left-hand side. The first one, again, is to capture. So in this stage, you're going to gather all your tasks, ideas, or reminders that are taking up mental space, and you're going to jot them down. You can use a notebook, or again, you can use these inserts. So whether it's a reminder to buy milk or it's a huge project for work, you're going to get it all down on paper. The goal here is to empty your mind so that you're not trying to remember every little detail. And so you see a start spot here. So if you follow the arrows, again, it says gather input. All right, this is your inbox system. So if you look at the arrow down, it's pointing to inbox, and you're going to process your inbox daily. Okay, so once you put or fill everything in your inbox, you're going to decide whether or not something needs action. So first step in the process is to fill your inbox page with all the things that you can think of. Even if they're random, if you know they need to get done or they're just taking up space inside of your mind, your brain is overloaded with all of these little simple tasks, then you're going to get it all out and you're going to put it here on paper. All right, again, so I'm just going to start writing down random things that just may not be, this is just a general idea, or for you to get a sense or general idea of how to use these inserts. But something that I write down could spark within you, hey, I need to get that out of my head too. The next step in the process is to clarify everything. So you're going to process what you've captured into actionable steps. So determine if an item is a project, a next action, or just for reference, or even just for someday, whenever you can do it. So we're going to go ahead and figure out, as you can see here, actionable. Yes, which means next action or waiting on, or project, or no, which means someday or reference, okay? So this whole thing is here to guide you through this whole entire process. So we're gonna go through each of these, and again, I'm just marking it off so you can see. This doesn't mean that this is how it's gonna work out for me. I just want you to see a filled in page. I was gonna do this video and just kind of talk to you about each page, but I said, you know, for me, I'm a visual person and I work much better when I can see something on the page, and that just gives me an idea of how I can use that particular set of inserts. So I decided to just write in as much as I could, okay? So again, is it actionable? Yes or no? Again, that's here as well. So does it need action? No, you're gonna trash it, reference it, someday list, which is all in here. And if it's a yes, you're gonna process it again, which we'll talk about on the next page when I flip, and I'll show you how that's gonna look. Okay, so this is kind of how it would look, again, based on how you're processing this page or how you're checking things off as to if they're actionable or not, okay? So once you've decided that every once you've decided what is actionable and what is not, now you have to process it all, okay? So there's two things to think about when it comes to processing all of this stuff, okay? If it's a single step item, just get it done. Take action. Okay, just do it. Okay, and there's a couple of things we'll think about when it comes to that. And then if it's multiple steps, then you'll want to consider these things. Projects, make a project plan and add to your next action list. All right, and then again, I said we would circle back to the single step items because you're going to take action on those as soon as possible. If it's under 2 minutes, do it now. Okay, just get it done now. All right, if it's a quick thing, you should be able to just process that immediately. All right, if it's a no, then you're going to either need to defer it, schedule it out, or you're going to need to delegate it, which means you're going to put it on your waiting on list. Okay. So that's in a nutshell, everything broken down. So again, we're on the step now to organize everything. We've already gotten clarification. We know what is on our list. We've captured everything and we've clarified in terms of what category it goes in. Now we have to organize our thoughts into the various other pages that I'm going to walk you through. And that is the meat of this whole thing. All right. So again, we're on the process it step. So now we have to process all of these things. So you've got to decide if it's a single step, which means you can just do it now if it's under 2 minutes. If not, again, consider deferring it or delegating it. And if it's a multiple step process, then you're going to have to create a whole plan for that. All right. So then let's just take a few things. And let's say, for instance, scheduling a doctor's appointment. That is less than 2 minutes. So I could just go ahead and do that now. All right. So I can leave it on this list. I don't need to put it on any other list. Okay. I can leave it here. All right. And so let's say I need to get an oil change. All right. An oil change is going to require, I could schedule it in less than 2 minutes, but it's going to take some time and some planning, especially if you have kids and things like that to get there. If you have to consider the kids or just a schedule. Okay. So you're going to have to schedule that out. So that means that it's over 2 minutes. So that means that it does not qualify for the do it now. So you have to defer it, or you can delegate it to your husband or or whomever. Okay. And if you're going to defer it, you want to put it on your next action list. If you're going to delegate it, you want to put it on your waiting on list. Okay. So I am going to delegate it. So I'm going to put this task, which I should consider that this actually needs to say, if that's what I was going to do, you would already know that because you would have checked off waiting on. Okay. So remember, it's going to be a little confusing. Well, don't get confused because remember, I just randomly checked this stuff off, but you'll know that already. And so that way, when you get ready to put it on that specific list, then you're going to just go to that page automatically. You'll know that this goes on the waiting on list, but this just gives you a little breakdown on the thought process of it all and how you've kind of come up with this. So when you're writing everything in, when you get ready to go to the clarify, consider the method, okay? So that way you can decide which categories to put it in. Does that make sense? Because you need to make sure that the right one is selected so you'll know where to put it. Because the point of this whole thing is to have everything organized. All your thoughts are organized, okay? And so if you're just kind of randomly doing things, then how organized are you really going to be? Are you really going to be able to tackle this and get it done the way that you want to? Okay. So again, the oil change I would have had waiting on because I'm waiting on my husband. If I decided to delegate, if I decided to defer it or push it off for later, then I want to schedule it, which means I will put it on my next action list. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. So in this particular case, I will put oil change. No, I'm sorry. I wouldn't put that there. I'm sorry. We just talked about this. I will put that here. Okay. So I will put husband or AJ. His name is AJ. I will put the date. All right. Especially if I scheduled it out. All right. I'll put the details. So I'd put oil change. All right. And then I'd put, due, when it's due by. And I'd put if there was a follow-up, first follow-up, second follow-up, and then whatever the status is. All right, so that's how that would be used. So I would have a full page of waiting on items, and then I could come here to see the progress of it all to see, you know, did that oil change get done? You know, yes, okay, done. I was waiting on him, he's got it done, and you can kind of move on to the next task, okay? Again, if it's in the next action list, that's when you have decided that you want to schedule it, which means that you'll want to go ahead and fill in whatever those items are, when it's due, and then there's some blank spots here that you can put, you know, whatever the category is, or, you know, just you can organize your thoughts a little bit better, but you can technically just do the description and when it's due, okay? And so these are all the things that you need to schedule. All right, there's a next action that needs to be done before you can actually start to or that before it can actually be done. All right, so we've covered that pretty well. All right, so again, you've got your inbox here. Okay, I'm just trying to break it down for you again, just so I'm making sure that you've got the level of clarity that you need. All right, you've gotten your inbox written down here, all right, which is all of the stuff that is inside of your head that you need to get out on and put on paper that needs to get done. And then you have gotten further clarification on whether or not you can get that done now. Is it actionable now or not? And you've checked that off so that you know, okay? And this is the basis for this whole thing. And then from that point, again, you need to organize it into the various categories. Next action, okay? You have waiting on, so you're waiting on something or someone. And then remember, if it's a whole project and you've got to, you know, do multiple different tasks associated with that, then you're going to want to create a project out of that. All right. And then remember, your someday list is like, it's not urgent right now, but at some point I do want to get it done. Okay. And that is all figured out from here. Okay. So your someday list, again, is going to be during the needs action process of it all. Okay, so you'll know if it doesn't need action right now that you can put it on your someday list. You can mark it as a reference, okay, or you can just trash it. So that is it in a nutshell in terms of the whole method of it all. Okay, and then there are 2 other steps in the process. The 4th step is that you want to review or reflect. And so this step is really essential as well. The founder of this whole thing suggests that you review everything at least once a week. So you want to look at your tasks to see what's completed, what needs more attention, and you want to adjust accordingly. Okay, so that is important. This step is really going to give you a chance to reevaluate and reprioritize, because it's about being flexible, and you want to ensure that the system is going to reflect your current priorities. All right. And then you want to engage. So you've gotten everything filled out from your inbox. You know the category in which these things are to be done or not. Okay. You have your next action list here. So it needs an action. You have a waiting on list here, which means you're waiting on something or somebody. Then again, you know all the projects that are associated with all those tasks in your inbox, or some of them. And then you have a list of someday, you know, I want to get this done. All right, and then you also have a notes page here for you to write down some reflection if you would like. All right, and so now we're on to the 5th and final step, and that is to engage. So finally, we're at the engagement stage, and this is the fun part. I mean, if you choose to look at it that way, but this is where you're actually getting things done, because you now have a clear, actionable list so that you can start working with confidence and intention. Okay, with the GTD method, you're not just working for the sake of being busy. You're taking focused, intentional steps towards what matters the most. So with breaking it all down this way, you should be able to get a sense of what actually needs to be done and what is just for reference and what is for someday. Okay. And that's why this is so genius, and that's why people love it. So here are some tips for success, okay? So with mastering the GTD method, first, you want to try using some digital tools or planners. Again, this is going to be what works best, but there are dedicated apps and journals. You could also use sticky notes. Use what you'll actually stick with. So if this set of inserts isn't something you feel like is going to help you with, you know, for long-term success, then go digital. Just do whatever works for you. Again, there's so many different tools and resources that you can use to really master this. But I know you could see how valuable this method is when you really learn how to use it. Again, that everything is laid out for you here. All of the steps in the process: capture, clarify, organize, review, engage. And I hope I've done a really good job in explaining that to you, because I try not to overwhelm. but I tried to also give you enough information so that you would know what to do next, okay? And remember, the whole entire method is shown here, so all you have to do is literally follow the arrows, okay? Start, gather the input, okay? Your inbox inserts, does it need action? No. Remember, you're gonna mark all that off here. Yes. You're going to process it, okay? If it takes multiple steps, you're gonna put it on your project plan or your next action list, okay? And then if it is a single step, then you're going to either get it done. If it is less than 2 minutes, just go ahead and do it now. Or if it's going to require more, you can either defer it, put it on your next action list, or schedule it, okay? And you can do all of that via your next action list, all right? You can put a little column here that says schedule. You can put the dated schedule. You do have a due date, but you can really play around with this to see what will work best for you. I'm sorry, I hate when I do that. Okay, and so if you aren't going to defer it, you can delegate it, which means you're going to put it on your waiting on list. All right, so this is very simple breakdown over here. You really can't mess it up if you follow the plan, but I wanted to definitely break things down for you and show you a little bit more about how to use them. I know I didn't write in every single page, but this is the most important page because this is the foundation and this is what you're going to take to fill in those other pages. And I think you get the sense of how to use those other pages. Okay, so that's it, y'all. By implementing the GTD method, you're going to feel more organized and in control, making space for both work and the things that you love outside of it. So go ahead and give it a try. Start small and see how it transforms your productivity. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like. And of course, I want you to subscribe if you're new here. Hit the notification bell for more productivity tips. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.